Okay, Demi here from Demi Reacts, and we're doing a reaction today for a particular video from Ashley Faye Vlogs, and her video is entitled 5 Things I Wish I Knew Before Moving to Australia from America Alone in her 20s. I've already seen the video. It's not a instant reaction to it. And I'm going to admit that I struggled with it. I try very, very hard when I do reaction videos to keep a middle way perspective. There's things about Australia which aren't the best, and then certainly I've seen videos about that where they've done nothing but rubbish Australia, and I think, okay, that's their perspective. I have pointed out in a few videos where they're dead wrong. But, you know, look, I'm an Australian. I love my country. You know, I'm going to defend it to the hilt. And that's the way it is. I've also reacted to some videos that just from a specific young man. His name is Sam, and he is a UK actor and content creator, and he came over here with his lovely wife, Maddie, and they have nothing but the best to say. But he also has the best advice in what he recognises are some issues that could be issues for him, but he's managed to give some really good advice on how to get around them. And after having watched Ashley's video here, I'm going to send her a little message and recommend that she watches Sam's videos. She may get a slightly better perspective on it anyway. Hello to chat, how are you? Look, we're going to go ahead, but please, I have struggled with this one. I'm going to be writing some notes because I watched it the first time and went, oh my Lord, you know, and I didn't have a good reaction to it. So I'm going to take a little bit more time and make some notes and try to keep the middle way perspective. So let's go. This is Ashley.
I'm an international. I don't even have permanent residency, and I have money in a super, aka a retirement fund here in Australia. But I literally have pretty much nothing over in the US. Love you, Australia. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Ashley here. I wanted to sit down and chat about things that I wish I knew before moving to Australia as an American. It would mean a lot if you do hit that subscribe button. I've been just blown away by the support on my last video. I'll have it up here. But so many people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So it's just a button. It means a lot to me. Click that, leave me a comment, and let's get into it. So things I wish I knew before moving to Australia as an American. So I first moved to Tasmania in the process of moving to Melbourne, which...
Oh, okay, so Tasmania, fantastic place. Love Tasmania. Probably, I'd say that again. I love Australia. It's about 20 years behind the times. It's an incredible place, very clean. A lot of the little towns. Tasmania, for those who don't know, is way down the bottom of Australia. It's a separate, like, little island, but it is part of Australia. It's a state of Australia, but it's way, way, way down the bottom. And to get to it, you go across on this massive. You go across the Bass Strait, which is quite horrendous, quite treacherous sometimes. And you go across on a ferry over there. So it's really very, very detached from the mainland. No bridges, nothing like that. But it's a time warp place because there is so many little towns that just take you back in time to they're pristine. The architecture it's old architecture, but they're so beautifully maintained. And the people are very proud of Tasmania, but they're also, I don't think they're quite as laid back. They're very country. I think they're used to the slow pace of Tasmania. Definitely not used to the hustle and bustle of the rest of Australia. When I say the rest of Australia, we all know that 90% of Australia or 80% of it or something is just desert, and all of our cities and towns are all coastal. So, but you know, they are Sydney, which is in New South Wales, Melbourne, which is in Victoria, Brisbane, where I am, which is in Queensland, way over the other side, Perth, down the bottom, South Australia. The hustle and bustle of those towns is 10 times worse than anything that's in Tasmania. It's very, very quiet down there. So good place though, beautiful.
Make sure you stick around if you want to learn a lot more about life in Tasmania, kind of moving interstate and differences between different parts of Australia. This first one is definitely not exclusive to Australia. I experienced this when I lived in New Zealand and even just traveling around different places of the world like Europe. So being from the US, often there are a lot of stereotypes where you just do get looked down upon, and I completely understand that this isn't like an exclusive thing to Americans. Different countries, different groups of people have stereotypes like that. Sometimes is completely unavoidable. I don't know, it can just be a bit hurtful to just be told automatically that because I'm American, I'm stupid. Of course, she's American, she doesn't know anything. Oh, she's American, she knows nothing about coffee, or I don't know what I'm talking about because of the political climate in the US. And yeah, there's so many lovely people that are American and that are so smart and are not dumb. So if you could be a bit more creative with your insults, that would be lovely. Thankfully, it doesn't happen a ton in Tasmania. Like, people are overall super welcoming and super lovely, but every once in a while I'm just like, like, I get that's where I'm from, and I'm very sorry to anyone that has ever had to deal with any sort of negative stereotypes, because they're not fun. And I know everyone's situation is different, and I totally have a lot of privilege in that. And I mean, this definitely is not the worst of the stereotypes in the world, but yeah, just think about what you say before you say it. Pretty please to people. Please be kinder. Yeah, especially those who have picked up their life and moved across the world alone because they wanted to start a new life. 2, banking is so much easier in Australia.
Okay. So for a video, I'm going to have to be careful here. For a video that's entitled 5 Things I Wish I Knew About Moving to Australia, the very first one, it's not even applicable to Australia. Well, hi Jason, how you doing? Going down to the flight deck, and I'll leave you on upstairs. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it so much. Thank you. Always. Jason is a regular in my, he's also a gamer, and yeah, look, click on his profile there and go over to his games. He plays awesome games, and he's also a mentor of mine. When I first started doing this, Jason was an absolute, thank you, darling. He says, have a great stream here. It was a tremendous help to me. So, okay. So let's go. Well, what I was saying, five things I wish I knew about moving to Australia. The very first thing is it's not even relevant to Australia. So why would you start with that? I don't understand. So I'm going to leave that one because I just fail to understand it. All right, let's go on to the second one.
Australia over America. I feel like I would have just been so much more relaxed, especially my first couple months of moving to Australia, of just knowing how much simpler banking is here.
Yeah, she's talking about the banking here in Australia. She's saying that she really loves it, that it's so much easier. So I'll let her finish on that.
Here, health insurance is here, paying bills is here. Like, I just find that the systems in place in Australia over America are so much simpler and so much more straightforward. Like, I just find that I stress so much less about finances and paying for things because of just how simple it is. It's so easy here in Australia with bank transfers. It was such a red flag when I first moved here. I had no idea what was going on. I'm very much used to Venmo, and even just paying bills and stuff, so many things can be direct debited. I don't know if it's changed over in the US in the last couple of years, but I remember it being like such a pain to even pay parking ticket or something, whereas all of those things are just so much simpler and so much easier to pay for. And like so much less paper waste. Like I feel like in the US, the amount of times that I was like, please do not send me like a paper bill or a form or something, just send it by email or something. And they would still do it. And then it's like, well, this is such a waste because you've just sent it to my email.
Okay. Let's have a look there. I'm not sure I understand this one. I think it's great that she finds Australian banking simpler, but I've lived in the States, was back there in 2019. I'm unsure of the difficulties that she's actually encountered back there. If you're going overseas, there's a bank over there called Citibank. They have branches in almost every country, so you simply just go and open an account. Now, I've always had a American Citibank account because I go back there frequently, and there's a bank here in Australia, so you don't even have to worry about transferring money. It's just automatic. If you want to access your debit card and your money's here in Australia, you just use your debit card. If if a power bill or anything like that, you send them an email and you say, just give me an online bill, and they won't send you a paper bill. Everything's literally paid by debit card. She refers to something called Vimo or something, which I have no idea what that is. Look, maybe a lot of this is just lack of experience on her part. She's very young, so she's inexperienced in the banking world, but pretty much in America, it's pretty much the same here. In Australia, everything's automated. I mean, 2019 I was there. Everything was pretty much automated. So again, it's probably been very daunting for a young girl in her 20s, early 20s, I would imagine, a student coming here to another country, a long, long way away, and being unfamiliar with what's happening. So I think her experience and what she's talking about there it is purely inexperience and her age, and that's a shame. But gladly, she found it easier here. Maybe she just had a little bit more help here. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Anyway, let's go on to number 3.
Anyway, if anyone else has noticed those sorts of things, definitely let me know down in the comments, because I just find that overall I'm so much more relaxed about it, because I don't have to like run to the ATM and get out $20 because this person doesn't have Venmo and I don't really know how to split the bill with them, and it's just so much easier. And then
oh my God, that happens here all the time. I mean, one of our main banks, the Commonwealth Bank, has stopped you going into a bank to take out cash. You have to go to an ATM. That's the only way you can do it. So yeah, you before you could go in and you could pay a bill, you could go in, you could withdraw cash at the teller, the teller inside. They've stopped now. Banking has changed a lot in this country as well. It's got a little bit tougher.
Also, just back to that a little bit with private health, I just found that because I'm not a permanent resident here in Australia yet, so I don't have Medicare, so I do pay for private health. And even just setting that up was so easy. Something that I know if I didn't move to Australia and I was staying in the US, I would have been terrified to try and set up health insurance over there. Like, just the whole process seems so daunting. And I mean, of course, Australia has its downsides to the healthcare system. Like, I'm not really gonna get into that in this video. I have chatted about it a bit more in this video if you want to hear my views on Australian versus American healthcare. But overall, just so much simpler. And I just feel like the process to sign up to things is just so much more straightforward. And I leave feeling so much less anxious than going in.
Health insurance. Okay. Again, I really feel that her, the trouble that she had in the States has clearly come from inexperience, and that she's very young. She would have had health insurance. Yeah, I think maybe when she said if I was in America and I was setting up health insurance, I'm kind of thinking, well, you were in America, you would have already had that all set up. But I think the perspective she's saying is if I was new to America and I had to set it up. I didn't personally have any problems. I simply took out traveller's health insurance every time before I go over there. And granted, it can be a little bit on the expensive side, but at least you're covered. And then when I got there, I simply joined a health fund. I didn't have any problems there either. It was relatively straightforward. It was all done online. All I had to do was put my passport and driver's license, because I'd got an international driver's license, and I honestly didn't have any trouble. So thankful that she found the process easy here. So good one for Australia.
And everyone's just like super lovely. And then going off of that, feeling less stressed and anxious about finances and paying for things, is this that I really loved moving to Australia from the US. As a student specifically, I first moved to Australia to finish my master's, and I find that it's so much easier to save up money as a student in Australia over in the US. A lot of jobs over here in Australia are casual jobs, so you get casual rates, which is basically just like you get paid so much more an hour than you would part-time, because for different reasons, but you know, your hours aren't guaranteed. I'm sure there's something like that somewhere in the US, but growing up I was very much used to, you know, minimum wage paying jobs and then relying on tips like $7-8 an hour. So I think the most I've ever gotten paid for a job in the US is like 14 something an hour working part-time as a student, again USD. But then in Australia, the first hospitality job I got working casually as a student, I got 27-28 an hour, I think, regardless of conversions. Like that's insane. And I just felt, even working like anywhere between 6 and 12 hours a week, working casually in hospitality while finishing up my degree here in Australia, I still felt like so much less stress about money. I was like, okay, I have this for budgeting, and then I still have this to like spend on myself and pay for bills and stuff, and I just did not feel anywhere nearly as stressed. Whereas working part-time as a student in the US, I felt like I was working like 20 plus hours a week while being a full-time student and getting paid. I mean, I think most of my jobs were like 10, 11 an hour, maybe 12 an hour. And then just getting the paycheck and feeling like you've literally worked so hard and you're barely paying for like your groceries that month or something. Obviously everyone's situation is so different, but just overall I find myself so much less stress about finances, whether when I was a student and working casually however many hours a week, and then all pretty much since then, all last year and up until now, working full-time. And yeah, just feeling a lot less stressed. This is just kind of a side tangent, but something else that I feel like if I knew before.
Okay. All right. First off, what we gather here is she's a student. She's probably come over on a student visa. Maybe a work. No, she would have come on a student visa, not a working visa. She would have probably applied for the right to work when she got here, I would imagine. So as a student, she starts out in this video by saying she's privileged. I'm kind of tying that in with what she just said then about she finds it easier to save here, because I can tell you that uni students here don't. My daughter is a uni student. She works full-time, and she also works and it's not full-time just hours, because she's on salary. The hours are more than 40 hours a week, and she's a full-time student as well. Now, she incurs a HECS debt. Now, the equivalent to that in America is student loan. So I'm thinking, I'm tying this all together. Okay, she's saying here she works 10 to 15 hours a week, and she's finding it easy to save. First off, someone's got to be paying her student fees, because they have to be paid before you get here. That they're going to be paid up front. She's not entitled to a HECS debt in this country. Overseas, student fees are very expensive in this country. So someone has to have paid for that. So whether that was paid, whether she saved up for that or something and paid for that before she got here, or whether her parents paid for it, she does say she's privileged. So the second thing is, let's say she said 10 to 15 hours. let's say 15. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt here. At $27 an hour is what she mentioned. That's about $400 a week. She's got rent to pay. That's not even going to pay. I can see where she is now, just from where she's sitting, and she's near the water. We are talking majorly expensive. This is coastal, even coastal in Tasmania. We're talking expensive here. 300. She seems to have a lovely apartment. It's certainly not cramped. It looks really, really lovely. She's got to be paying $300 or $400 a week for that, which doesn't leave her much room for groceries or saving, really. So, again, I'm going back onto the privilege statement again. Maybe her parents, maybe she's lucky enough that her parents are paying for that or something. I don't know. But that's not the norm in this country. You know, my daughter pays rent, pays all her own groceries, pays all her own bills, and she struggles big time. You know, I don't pay anything of hers. She pays all her own stuff. So what she's saying is not the norm. So anyone coming to this country and looking at Ashley and going, well, you know, look how easy Ashley had it. It's not the norm. I think she's prepaid her student loans, or someone has prepaid her student loans. Someone's probably paying her rent, because on $405 a week, you are not going to be able to buy groceries and pay rent and save at the same time. So please, if you're watching this, don't take her situation as being, absolutely relevant to Australia. It's a completely different perspective. On top of that, you know, she did a comparison between $10 to $15 that she was earning in the States, and the amount that she's earning here. We also pay much higher tax here. The cost of living is much higher. So, you know, that does allow for the difference there. All right. So, again, that's not really relevant to Australia again. So let's go back and see what the fifth one says.
Moving here is how good the supers are, the retirement funds. When I got my first casual job here in Australia, and I was making like however much, 27, 28 an hour, and those casual rates do depend on weekends. You get a lot more. I think it's like after 6 p.m. you get a lot more in Australia. But anyway, side note, on top of that rate, I was getting all of this money being put into a retirement fund. So I think I have absolutely $0 in a retirement fund in the US, maybe like some investing on the side. Whereas with my 2 years living here in Australia, obviously it's not an exorbitant amount of money, but it's better than nothing. After my first year looking at how much money gets automatically put into my super here, mind blown. I was like, wow, I feel so much less stress about the future as well. The future, oh my God. And like I'm an international, I don't even have permanent residency, and I have money in a super, aka a retirement fund here in Australia.
Okay, on that point, gosh, I hope she's looked into this. I'm going to just bring up something because I did some research on this. It was not something I was aware of.
fired, and the world
that.
is not ending. So I just find overall the way of life is a lot more, just less stressful, a bit more easygoing. I don't feel like as on my toes as much. Like, I think I touched on it in my last video, but a reverse culture shock going back home to the US recently and just constantly feeling like on my toes and like very sporadic and feeling like there's like so much to do with like so little time, and it just, yeah, completely different headspace. So love you, Australia. And so lastly, this is mostly in regards to on the internet. So this one's a bit more specific. I get this a lot on TikTok, sometimes on Instagram. Thankfully, no one said this to my face, which is nice, I guess. You know, people are acting different online per usual. But the amount of times that I've said something like remotely, not necessarily negative, but just remotely not overly positive, whether it's about Australia or Tasmania specifically, is a lot of the times people's automatic response is, okay, well then if you don't like it, just go home to your home country. Like, we don't want you here anyway, just go home. And it's like, okay, well, like, calm down. I can love where I live and still have criticisms. Like, I can love living in Australia. I can love feeling less stressed about money and less stressed about wages and loving how overall more laid back way of life is, but not exactly love the healthcare system. That's completely acceptable to have an opinion. And I think also, because I've had this explained to me in other ways about how protective, I don't know if it's just here in Australia, but how protective Australians are of their country and their way of life, which is totally fair. I'm not here to yuck your yums. I don't think I've ever said that. I'm so sorry. So yeah, I'm not here to come for anyone. Maybe in the US it's a bit more acceptable to kind of just voice your opinions a bit more loudly, whereas here in Australia that's not always the case. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Definitely depends where you are. This is also me just like putting things together and figure out things in my head. So
Whoa, I've got to step in there. Okay, what can I say? Australians, we're kind of blunt. We say it as it is. We don't really much palaver to people. But we're also very accepting as well. We tend to let things just bounce off us a bit. But, you know, if you piss us off, we're going to say something. It's as simple as that. You know, it's just the way we are. She says that they don't say it to her face, which is lovely. Well, that's nice. So they say it on the internet. She mentions TikTok. Oh, good grief. Look, I'm going to address that. I'll address that bit in a minute because that kind of gets to me. She says that in the USA, most people are probably more tolerant. No, they're not. You can't say anything in America without someone either calling you a racist or call you whatever. You're a sexist, you're a racist, you're a communist, you're something. I mean, the criticism's unbelievable in America. So I'm unsure of what part of America you came from, but my experience, don't get me wrong, I go to America a lot. I love America. I really do. Not particularly at the moment. The climate over there, and I'm not talking about the political climate. I couldn't give a shit about it. I'm neither left wing nor right wing. I don't particularly care about that. I'm just talking about the general situation over there at the moment. It's not good, but give me the safety of Australia any day. But it's very hard to have an opinion over there, whereas here you can kind of have your opinion and we'll pull you up on it, but we don't really take offence at it so much. But so yeah, I have to call you out on that. Let me hear what you have to say about the rest of it.
This is making zero sense. I apologize, but I guess just don't tell people to just go back home to their home country, pretty please, because I love my life here and I know so many people that have moved.
It doesn't matter what country you're in. If you criticise the country to the people, they're going to tell you to piss off. It doesn't matter whether you're in America, whether you're in New Zealand, whether you're in Australia, or where the hell you are. You can be in Japan, or probably not Japan because they're the ultimate in in good manners, I guess. But whether you're in England or wherever, South Africa, Germany, it doesn't particularly matter. If you speak out against a country that they love and that they're proud of, they're going to tell you where to go. Oh, that's a little bit on the frustrating. I'm trying to be really kind here, Ashley, but I'm struggling. I'll be honest, I'm struggling.
Moved internationally to Australia and do love it, but also we are entitled to our opinions. And I would very much like to stay here, pretty please.
Perhaps you should keep your opinions about Australia to themselves, especially when they're negative, especially to another an Australian. I mean, you know, get with your American friends or whatever and tear the shit out of Australia. That's fine. But don't tell another Australian something's wrong with their country, because we're not going to take too kindly to you.
Please. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've realized any of these things, or if you're an American who's moved to Australia or has moved to a different country.
Hi, Insane is in the chat. Welcome. How are you? Okay, I'm going to react to some. I'm going to watch some more of the videos. I'm going to try and give her the benefit of the doubt. As I said earlier, she's very young, and she's lived literally in one tiny little place in Australia. She certainly hasn't experienced much of Australia. Certainly not the big cities and everything. She admits herself she comes from a privileged position. She's not having the same experience that most people, you know, expats have when they come here. So but I will give her the benefit of the doubt. I will watch some more of her videos and see what she's about. Some stuff I struggled with. Yeah, She labelled the video 5 things I wish I knew about moving to Australia from America, alone in her 20s, yet 3 of those things weren't even relevant to Australia. The very first thing that she starts out with is a criticism, you know, and I'm like, wow. The 2 things that she did that were semi-relevant to Australia was banking, and that's the good banking system here is not just Australia. There's good banking systems. Thank you so much. Thank you. Insane in the chat says your accent is so good. Yeah, I'm an Aussie, mate. So the banking is not just relevant to Australia. I mean, other people have good banking systems as well. I found no trouble whatsoever when I was in America with the American banking system, with paying bills. I had no issues there. The other thing was that she says the superannuation, which is in Australia, which could prove to be problematic for her. The wages she found great. That's good, but we do have a higher cost of living and we do pay high tax. Our power is, although I was talking to someone the other day and they said that the power in America is really, really high. Well, I can let you know that here in Australia, my house is a fairly big house, but my power bill the last quarter was $1,800. It's pretty damned high. And because I live in Queensland, it's stinking bloody hot. So you need your aircon on probably 8 months of the year. Because we have a winter here, but it's not really a winter. You know, our winters are sitting between 18 and 25 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I have no idea. But anyway, so Insane, tell me, are you a USA? Are you an American? I'd love to hear it if you are. I can't click on you to find out. Let me have a look, see if you have a channel. I love that. I'm going to go to your channel. Okay, he's 39 subscribers. He just says peace, and he says Lord Insanes. Well, that's really good. All right. Hi, Marianne. How are you? Good to see you again. I don't even know what channel I'm actually broadcasting to. I have a feeling I'm on a gaming channel. I'm not sure. But I'm doing a reaction to a video that stated 5 things I wish I knew before moving to Australia from America. I'm doing quite a few reaction videos to, I'm a proud Aussie. And I've done some really brilliant reaction videos to people who've loved Australia, who've come over here and just really adopted the culture and, learnt to blend in very well, and they've used a lot of strategies undo that. Yeah, but I've been away. I've been working really, really hard on the Inside channel. The Inside Circle, which is going really, really well. I also have another podcast which is on autism, neurodiversity. So I have that one going. I have this one going, which is the Reactionist channel. And then, of course, I have the gaming channel. So four channels, and I've been busy as. So I don't think I've even, and also I broke my arm. So I haven't been able to game. I'm just recovering from that. I'm out of, I've still got this massive great lump on my arm though. I haven't been able to game for a while, so that's why I haven't been on the gaming channel. But as I said, I don't even know if I'm on one. I don't even know I'm on my gaming channel one or if I'm on my reaction. It was supposed to be my reaction video, but God knows. Anyway, Anyway, that's I've completed the reaction to this lovely young lass, very young, and I suspect very inexperienced. But she's come over here to Australia. And she's alone. She's a student. She's at university. So I'm kind of there was some really points I struggled with in her video, but I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go and watch one of her other videos and see if she can find some relevant and some positive things. So, it's good, Marianne. It's healing. It was only a hairline fracture. That's all. I took a slip in the bathroom and threw my arm up and hit the side of the door frame, and it cracked just there. So see the lump? Yeah. And it just cracked it, but it was just a hairline, just a tiny little one. It wasn't bad, but it meant, because I use a keyboard, I couldn't game because I just couldn't use it, any movement. So I haven't gamed for a while, and I've missed Kimmy. I've got to get back with Kim and do some more gaming, but we'll do that. But I'm trying to bring these other 2 podcasting channels up to the level of my gaming channel. Working hard on that, trying to work out in the week when exactly I'm going to be doing each podcast so it fits in with my family life as well. So yeah, trying to work that out. But yeah, and how's yourself been? How's life for you? Good? I hope. Yeah. I'm coming back to it. Yeah, Marianne says, I wonder where your gaming was. I'll get back to it because I miss it. The thing is, I started gaming 7 months ago. Well, I didn't start gaming 7 months ago. I've been a World of Warcraft player for 11 years, but I started channeling, like live streaming and that gaming 7 months ago. And I did it purely for recreation. But I got caught up in the momentum with podcasts and everything, and now I need gaming for relaxation because everything else is work. And whilst I certainly enjoy the work, it is definitely hard work doing all of the podcasting and everything. There's a lot of research, a lot of setting up to do. So I need to get back and do some Fortnite and some Final Fantasy IV is the one that I would really like to tackle. I'm actually I'm on a PC, and I'm actually asking my daughter and son, "You're doing good. Still looking for a way to start a channel." The laptop, okay, just went. Oh, okay. That is a shame. Yeah, because honestly, Marianne, it is so much fun. It's just so much fun. I never thought 8 months ago that I would be in this place right now and doing the things I'm doing and totally enjoying life to the absolute fullest. It is just so much fun. I pray and hope that you find a way to start a channel. I look forward to gaming with you, and maybe doing a podcast, getting you on one of my podcasts. I think that'd be fabulous, you know. You don't... I'd love to have you on one of the podcasts. You don't even have to start a channel for that. I should just send you an invitation to a podcast. Hi, how are you, darling? How are you feeling? El Main Diablo is in the chat. It's on Amazon, so I'm sure the price will come down again. Thank you. Have you had your second lot of surgery? I wonder. Yeah, I'm kind of back. El Main, am I on my podcast, my gaming channel? Is this video going out to there, or is it going out to my Demi Reacts channel? I don't even know which one I'm on, because when I set it up, I was half asleep, because it was like midnight. So I don't even know. You're welcome. You're welcome. I have to end shortly, because this is just a reaction video. I'm not gaming at all. I'm just reacting to a young lass that's over here from America in Australia, and finding some things that she's not quite happy with, but finding two things that she was happy with. So, okay. So I am definitely broadcasting to my gaming one. Bloody hell. I messed it up again. It's all right. What I've got to do now is I've got to wait till the stream finishes. I've got to download it, and then I've got to upload it onto the other channel, because it's not supposed to be on this channel. So your day 2 of recovery. Excellent. So you that's the second one done. Okay. How's your mouth feeling? Sore? I imagine it would be. I'm so glad you had it done, because there was a bit there that you weren't sure you were going to... Okay. All right. Okay. I thought this was the third op. Second op in the books. Does that mean, yes, you've had the second op now? Is there a third? Because I remember when you had the first one, and then you had a little bit of trouble afterwards. The recovery didn't go quite as... Oh, that is so good. Feeling amazing for the first time in years. That is so good to hear. That's wonderful. Yeah, I'm so pleased for you. That's great stuff. On the 23rd and November the 3rd. Okay, so only another 10 days. Well, I hope it goes better than the first, because I know that you were scheduled for the second one, and it didn't quite... You either didn't heal as well as what you thought, or they thought, or something. I know they kind of postponed it. I remember you saying that. But now the second one's done. So that young lady in the video hasn't really experienced, like, yeah, I know. I'm sure. Well, I think so too, because she openly admits right from the start that she's privileged. She says that. I think her parents are paying for her tuition, because it's very expensive in Australia, overseas tuition. And I think they may be paying for her rent, because, yeah, she's got an income of around $400 a week. That wouldn't even pay rent here. Well, it would, but I can see from the background where she's sitting there, she's actually on the coast, and coastal properties are bloody expensive in this country, honestly. Very expensive, because everyone wants to live on the coast, that's why. But it looks like lovely, and she looks like she's got a lovely apartment, certainly very spacious. That's not uncommon for Tasmania, though. Tasmania is... I love Tasmania. It's a beautiful place. But I hope... Yeah, I mean, when did she actually put this video up? A year ago. So I'll listen to a few that she's done since, and see if she's found a few more positive things to say about Australia. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming in. I really do appreciate it. I will transfer this video onto my gaming channel, and I will try to ensure that the rest of my stuff goes on to the proper gaming channel. It goes on to the proper reaction channel. It's because I use OBS software, and it kind of throws it at the wrong channel all the time, or maybe it's the way I've got it set up. Anyway, I will have to go. I am coming back, believe me. We've got in the inside circle at the point now where it is just so successful, and I don't have to put as much work into it. So now I can put some work into my other channels, and one of those, of course, is gaming. So I will be back, guys. Won't take long at all. Hopefully. Thank you so much, Almaine. I appreciate it. I'm so glad you're feeling so good. That is awesome. Marianne, thank you very much for popping in. I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to doing a podcast with you one day. I think that would be absolutely fabulous. And to Insane, you popped in, and I've really appreciated it. Jason's got me sitting on the, he's lurking and working in the background there. So I will say bye-bye to him, but thank you again. Please thumbs up, darlings. I really need it, as we all do, because the analytics and everything has changed in YouTube now. Those thumbs up are so important, as are subscriptions and views. So thank you very much. I'll end it now. I'm going to pop over and have a look at some of her other videos, see if things have changed a bit. But everybody, please be kind and stay safe. Love you. Thank you so much. I'm going to end it kind of about now. Okay.